Good morning. Welcome to the crypto day morning with today's date coming in that of Sunday, the 30th of December 2018. Scratch that Saturday idea. Looking at Bitcoin, Komodo, PIVX, there really isn't much more to go over. Multiple time frames, starting with the longest on Bitcoin. Monthly chart, of course, the uptrend that has had one price correction, some time correction, and is in its second price correction right now. At least it's had one red candle down, and what's right now a pause month. On the weekly chart, within the pause month, just a little bit of a rally. Still hasn't came up to the 18 average, which means on a bullish bearish level, it definitely still has up room left, just based on that. And the fact that I do expect it to have a good rally at some point from the bottoms. And I say the bottoms are near. I might not be right with that, but what I mean by the bottoms being near, either this is the bottom, or maybe we'll have one more leg lower, and probably, who knows whereabouts too, but expecting big bounces from that point on. And also, going to previous levels where it came from, I'm expecting that from this bottom point, 6,000, little over, should be a target for where it would make it to. Could take well into the summer even as time to get there, especially when you're looking at the weekly term time frame. Daily chart is where you've come up, you've established this level of resistance after having the band flatten out. Right now it's in stage 3, back to the band. It's in the correctionary phase within this rising 18 average. You can also notice some key levels of support when looking at this amongst the 4-hour time frame, and resistance as well. So the big resistance coming in up in here, hasn't had that test since its second test of such. The original level of support, not counting this one, but this one here, where the price action is now. Didn't even really need to draw a line there, so I'm just going to put it into here, because this level of support, a little gap in here, the failed breakdown, and then looking like just failed moves back and forth. But meanwhile, this thing is staying really volatile, of course, within this sideways movement. And even if I see a break above here, it's got to make a significant break to have a chance, which it did in here. And generally speaking, when that happens, oftentimes it's either going to be continuation lower, no, or maybe it's going to have resistance and come back, but it's not doing a good job right now, although it's still kind of doing it and resisting this area. One, you don't expect it to get over this high, which it did. It did stay there for a while, had this fast move, but so far supporting it, getting really symmetrical now. So all of this indecision, to me, something I would rather leave alone as far as just even trying to make any type of solid predictions until it can have any type of noticeable break on either side. Until then, I just expect it to remain choppy within this sideways movement. But again, overall, looking pretty decent as far as how I see this whole setup thing, because I realize getting out, good chance that it's on target. Fibonacci I'm going to go over next, around 48, but then Fibonacci is also in at 62, and if this thing doesn't hold, then you have point A high, point B low, retracement high much lower than before, very solid correction, and then breaking down. Correctionary move means you're breaking down lower than point B low more times than not. So that's how I'm looking at it now, and until we leave this correctionary phase, then that's all it is. It's remaining neutral within its current trend. And now let's put these lines on, and a couple reasons why I have the Bitstamp chart for the longer term. One, they have long-term data. Two, it's tough to see all these. I don't like seeing all these lines. They're not really needed too much. At least they get overviewed, or I don't know what word to use. And I can draw on the other one. I don't want to draw on this one, other than just for small bits here and there. But going back, this is the 4-hour term time frame, now down to the single hour. So that short-term failed breakout yesterday came above here, broke down below this, managed to get above the 18. It still technically is in play on a bullish level, because if this was bearish, you were supposed to resist this 18 average of highs and go lower at 3 o'clock. It didn't do it. Okay, maybe it goes a bit higher and does it later. Okay, here's that little pull down here, and well, maybe that still may happen, but more, again, choppiness signs that this market has. But it's interesting how these lines drawn in well before the price even reached these points have been very much in place. Now, if you look at the top gainers over the last 7 days, only 2 coins are above 10% amongst coins in the top 100 market cap. Komodo's trading in at 22 plus thousand Satoshi, getting above a lot of key levels of resistance. So there's only 2 that are doing well as far as over 10%. And that's when your best 2 coins are doing that, then market conditions are either very negative or more neutral. And it's a combination of both, but it's even a combination of it being positive. Positive, neutral, and negative. Negative because of how the year's been and since the breakdown below 6,000. Positive because we're off the lows, and neutral because we've just been hanging in there since going down and going up. But we have Komodo having this break higher, weekly term time frame. It's leaving a sideways band that's been doing such for quite some time. So given that, how much possibility for moves higher does it have? Well, I mean, there could be some decent size moves. We could have one large week candle coming like we did here. Either the ending this week, which I think would be next week. We could have 4, 5, 6 virtual up candles in a row. When I mean virtual up in a row, that means something like this. One up, a red, an up, and up, and up. Maybe you have a sideways pause here and there, a couple red periods, but having like 6, 7 where the vast majority are up of good nature. It's in a situation where it's poised to do such. For reversal of trend, it's looking to do stage 2 right now, which is established resistance. Band's been flat now since before Halloween. It's had an attempt to go down in around Thanksgiving US, but didn't do it. It's having an attempt now to go higher. So therefore, looking at this at the daily time frame, to think that this is overextended, yeah, a little bit, but most certainly a lot of potential still in place. Looking at today's high on Komodo on the BitTrex exchange, you can see it's at the 246 handle. Looking at Komodo on the Binance exchange, it came in today at the 235 handle, a difference of 11 basis points or about 4%. That was the minimum arbitrage available. And the same thing on PIVX. It's just the other site, or one site different. This one, Binance was the high. This next one, the Binance would have the highest, but not by the same percentage. Because Binance on PIVX, which we're going to be looking at next, it's having a great day. Its high for the day, 29.63. And BitTrex's high for the day, well, 29. It's only a difference of 2.5%, but that does state that an arbitrage was available within the market. And when the markets have big up and down moves, that's usually when it's the case. But high volatility from these lows, you have this level of resistance matching from before, coming back to where I'd like to see it come back to, where it came from, and more importantly, this 18, and even where it came from here, previous resistance, and to break out above it aggressively as it's doing. Hey, this has got a lot of nice potential as we look at this weekly chart, just like Komodo. Sideways band. It has been sideways for a while. It had an opportunity here, both roughly right before Christmas or Thanksgiving rather, in US, and the December lows, but didn't do it. Now it's making an opportunity. But as far as chart pattern is concerned, everything preceding this big green candle day is showing support, resistance within, support within, and now breakout to this level. But this one in here is showing a beautiful pattern or beautiful situation. Have this move, not retrace lower, extend the highs, stay within the highs, and yet have a little bit of support test along the way. Bullish situation. So if you're looking for an image of something that's giving you good reason for further gain within its time frame, I have to think that the weekly time frame is doing a very good job of such. So again, situation for further upside, most certainly in place. 4-hour time frame, doing this very quickly. I'm going to switch the next one over to the Binance, but from here, this to this, nice correctionary move, breaks out, has a first level of correction, has another leg higher, so now it's in process of correction, still a decent ways away from this 18 average. Amongst a single hour time frame, correctionary move successful, and within it, it's having its correctionary move. If this fails in here, then I'm going to be looking for this area, of course, and where the 18 average was on the 4 to be support. On the 15-minute term time frame, we can see it's just mainly going sideways amongst this, definitely running low on steam. But I've seen so many times when buyers are ready to come in, it could take a while, it'll happen. To me, I'm not trying to guess the next moves. Rather, I've had to adjust and put new buy and sell orders because both Komodo and PIVX were selling for me during my sleeping session, and I have put in new buy orders and sell orders since then. No more work needed, really. It's fun to do these videos, and it's always good to be able to just quickly look at the markets, understand where sell orders are, because I had them a little higher in both these, and I needed to, and I'm glad I did. Selling for like 10, 15, 20% extra volatility than I normally would have. And that is it with the chart. Now, as far as hockey is concerned, what a great day yesterday, winning 6 of my 9 games. And this isn't like minus 100 or minus 110 kind of lines, like picking a point spread in a football or a basketball game. My average line was 2-to-1 odds, which means you win those a third of the time you break even. And I got 2/3 last night. I'm expecting to lose these. I'm hoping to win 40%. That's if I play these kinds of lines. That would be really nice. My return on investment's 148% yesterday. Today's card, one game, making 2 different plays. On here, I'm going to do the Swiss pick'em over Russia, getting over 3 1/3 to 1 odds. As well, I'm going to take 2 goals with Switzerland at minus 112. That'll be played on a different site. And thank you for tuning in, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.